What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's just get in it. Today was a lot of news that came forward. One, dealing with all of us, is the budget bill, which the proposition for that hasn't passed or anything, but there are a few Republicans, a handful, that are not having it. Understandably, because if you see what it has, and we're going to go and look into it like right now, what does it have for American citizens? Okay, we're going to check that out right now.
The framers of our Constitution
that the United States
never
did not
intended for
see
the president to seek the approval of Congress every time he exercises his constitutional authority under Article 2. And
that's
so
irrelevant. I think that question being asked on the media, that's an irrelevant question.
That is the key point in U.S. intelligence.
To have that authority to act decisively and effectively.
Audio came up. Sorry about that. But anyway, we're going to look at what was going on with the House. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing? The House GOP budget bill. Now, it's going to cut. This is what they're proposing. Now, before we even get into that, didn't Donald Trump promise these MAGA people that he wasn't going to touch Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, any of that? He said he was not going to touch that. He said it was a no starter, right? Nothing at all. We ain't going to touch it, never touch it. They ain't even trying to do it. Because that's what the Democrats were saying. They said the only way you're going to get what the Republicans are asking for is that you have to cut Medicaid, Medicare, right? And they said to the tune of $880 billion is what the Democrats were saying last year when we were running. $880 billion you're going to lose, right? You had to lose that just to be able to help pay for these tax cuts. Mind you, these cuts are merely to give rich people tax cuts. That's it. It's not to pay off the deficit, or at least bring the deficit to a balance. It's not to pay off our debt. It is so that we can have extra money in the bank, so to speak, the government bank, and give it away to rich people so they can improve the economy and our. But here's the crazy part. You're going to improve the economy but pay less taxes. So I'm going to give you billions of dollars. And you're going to create jobs, you say. But every time they say they're going to do that, they never create enough jobs to pay for what we just gave. So it goes into a deficit. And them not paying their fair share, nothing goes hardly back into the bank. But we've given out $1 trillion or so, $4 trillion, $6 trillion. But $6 trillion don't come back because they don't pay their fair share. And they get Americans every year to think that you're going to somehow get money back into the government, going to create all these jobs, and every time they don't create the jobs. And we keep on being cyclical, expecting them to do their jobs, to do what they say. But most of us are jaded by politics by now. We pretty much know they're not going to do what they say. It is pretty much, melded into American society that this is not going to ever work. We just got to make do with them promising but never delivering. Because if America really was down for getting what they asked for, we'd be shitty right now. That for decades they promise shit and they only give like 1/10 of the million things that they freaking offer. They know what pushes Americans' buttons, and they'll do those things. Racism pushes the Americans' buttons. They'll talk about that. Division pushes America's buttons. Love, honor, respect doesn't push our buttons enough. They don't even go that route because that brings people together to do good things. They're trying to divide us so they can have a better life. The billionaires are always conspiring to get the poor people and middle class people fighting each other over scraps while they're taking the whole everything, the whole cow they got. And they're throwing middle class people a bone, and they're pissed off that Poor people getting crumbs. I want that crumb. It's like, why don't you want the extra cow they got up here, the billionaires? You never look upward. They always look down on people who aren't doing as well as you. And you want to say, oh, well, we get rid of them, then I can have their salary and I'll be moving on up. That's not how it works. Never has worked like that. But for some reason, in the mindsets of middle class and poor people have that mindset of lack, even though they'll go to church, they'll preach to you left and right. God, my God's a God of abundance, but you live a life of lack, saying that if I can't do this, this person, I thought he built enough for all of us. How can you be all this religious and believing in gospel and God, but every time you turn around, you're thinking about lack instead of abundance? These rich people know there's an abundance. They got everybody else thinking there's lack, because they're the ones who end up investing in you, giving you loans, helping your life get better, and they choose not to. They cut it off, even though they could do it in droves. If Elon Musk, just for his pleasure, can give away $1 million like he's giving away like fucking Halloween candy, you get $1 million, you get $1 million. If he's got that kind of money, then there is no lack. It's just the mindset in which we have. We think of lack because they pull resources out. We don't see any resources coming in, so therefore we think lack. There is no lack. Get that out of your mind. If you want to go out there and make it, you can. There are 300-something million people here. You don't have to sell to all of them for your life to change. The mindset is that you do, because they make you think you can't get it done. You need to be a worker bee. You need to do this or that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that when people get in the mindset of lack, they start hating on people who have. And for rich people, they'd have you guys fighting over each other over little scraps. He got a house and I got an apartment. This dude got 17 houses. There's no reason for that. And you can get up there all you want. But for people down here, it shouldn't be having them fighting for scraps. You should be offering them, just like they say, if we're going to give, and this is what I think of the contract of American citizens. This is our contract, I believe, right? Because I don't have a problem with people being rich. I have a problem with people being devious and rich, right? My mind, the contract is this. Not all of us are built to create businesses and, unicorn companies and stuff like that. Not all of us are built like that. But there are many of us who are that don't get opportunities. And that many of us who have that mindset that if we got rich, we're going to give back to communities. And, we understand that helping people more, you become wealthier and other people become wealthier. We have a better society, less crime, all that. But these people up here don't care about that. They know there are things that they can do to lessen crime. They don't care. They'd rather buy a yacht than go help the homeless find a place to live and spend $100,000 a month to house 400,000 people. I'd rather buy a watch. When we get people, and it's up to us Americans, where you put your money at. If the people aren't really focused on the people, you ain't got to give them your money. There are billionaires and millionaires and people who have small businesses out there that are looking to help people. Find them, make them wealthy. The world becomes a better place to live because they're focused on people. They know the money will come if they focus on the people. These people don't focus on anything other than money, power, and fucking everybody over. Any way I can get it. If I have to rob you, I will. But there's legal ways to rob you. Grifting. And almost every billionaire you see with an advertisement is a grifter. Not unless they're pushing their own business, but no, you see all. You watch. I didn't watch television that much, but watch on TikTok, YouTube, the commercials. Mr. Wonderful has got all kind of damn commercials pushing everything under the sun. He don't own all these businesses. He's got investments in a lot of these damn things. Why is a billionaire walking around talking about, you need to buy this, you need to buy that, and don't do shit for nobody? Do you see like what I consider one of the good ones, Mark Cuban? Do you see him going on there pushing like cologne and hats and shoes. You don't see that man promoting nobody's shit. Not unless it's his. I got a new app out, blah, blah, blah. And even on top of that, he has stuff like, and again, I know there's probably some shady stuff about Mark Cuban. I know there probably is. But the reality is, from what I have seen, he's literally put on like, hey, I'm looking for somebody in this type of space. I'm willing to put you on. Let me know. That's his ad. And people were like trying to put in their app. I need somebody to write code for this. They wrote it. Boom. He had them on there. He promoted them. It's one of his things, but he's helping them out as well as him being helped. All these other ones, Damon Johns and all that, it's just grifters. The Shark Tank crap, grifters. They're Donald Trump in different skin. Outside of being orange, but different skin. That's all they are. And there's so many ways that we can help each other out. There's nothing wrong with people wanting money and power and all stuff like that. I ain't got no problem with that. But the American people decide by what we buy and what we don't buy, by how we see wealth in this country. If we start to focus on the people whom we're making rich, on products and services, if these people don't abide by like giving a damn about nobody but themselves, we shouldn't be making them wealthy. It's our fault to buy from them. And I know they end up buying commodities which we have to buy, like our heat and also air conditioning and things of that nature. That's stuff we can't do anything about. But I'm talking about if they're selling a product, you can ice them out. Americans can ice them out, buy it somewhere else. You have more power than you think. It's just that we don't have enough unity to yield that power or wield that power. If we got together, unified, we could. Rudy and Planet Jan said there are no ethical billionaires, but some are not as toxic as others. I agree with that. Yeah. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't know every billionaire. I've known people that have paid for people's stuff. And, I don't have a problem with people trying to get the American dream. I don't have a problem with that. What I have a problem with is that people not giving a damn about anybody else. It's just a me thing. That drives me nuts because it's like, of course you can take care of your family, but after you get like $1 billion or whatever it is, I mean, come on, what are you really searching for? You can buy anything 100 times over in life. And instead of like, hey, we got a lot of stuff going on in the world. If you're a billionaire and you care about, recycling on the earth and shit like that, and the plastic in the ocean, why ain't you built something for that? You know what I'm saying? Why haven't you built something for that? You can build apps for things, but you can't try and fix that and spend billions of dollars trying to fix that if that's your passion. But a lot of people's passion is just making more money. Yeah, Bill Gates gives a lot too. Yeah, most definitely. I see that, Rude. So when we start to look at this, you also see that there's 700 billion rather for Medicaid, Medicare, 500. You look at $1.2 trillion right there. SNAP, $300 billion, ladies and gentlemen. And the majority of people on SNAP are in red states. I mean, it's not like it's like 5 million and 50 million or whatever the hell. It's not like that, but it's about, I would say, 38 million or something like that to 26 million or something of that nature, somewhere around there. Not gigantically different. It's millions, but we got 300-something million people here. But the reality is, red states hurt by SNAP more than any other state. Yet they're the constant group of people that act holier than thou toward blue states. You guys think you're better than us, blah, blah, blah. Nobody thinks nobody's better than nobody. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but I just look at the perspectives of things. It's like, we're not the ones telling people in blue states, we're not telling people what they can and cannot read. We're not telling people they can't use a certain bathroom. In California, I don't know about every state. I'm from Indiana, and I haven't been there in a minute. But in California, there has been, before I even knew about, trans people having problems, like having to use in bathrooms in different places like that, we have had bathrooms here that have been unisex for fucking ever. I have walked in, and I'm telling you, my first time because I came from LA, from Indiana to LA. I didn't see it in Indiana when I was younger or nothing like that. When I came to LA in the 90s, I mean, they were literally walking to a bathroom and a lady be walking out. I'm like, oh shit, am I in the wrong bathroom? What the fuck? I mean, and she not have a flinch, just walk by, just say hi or whatever and keep going. I'm like, the fuck? I don't know. Each bathroom had its own door, lock it. You walked in. Each stall was individual. No under, the door went all the way to the ground. No way you can look under the door, nothing like that. No, like look over into the next aisle. Your own individual room. That shit has been like forever in fucking Cali. Why is this a topic? It shouldn't be. But people say stuff about it because anything to divide. There have been unisex bathrooms for fucking ever. And the idea that this country, again, the Republicans, MAGA, they have to find something to divide. And I'm not saying the other party doesn't do division as well. I'm saying they both do division. But they're not the same. They're nowhere near the same. The division for Republicans is hate, is other races. The vision, I would say, for the Democrats is all about economics. It's like, okay, we're trying, and even in that division, they're trying to help, middle class with some kind of program, poor people with some type of program, and give rich people tax cuts too. Everybody gets something, but not everybody gets a lot. That's better than, let's fuck over everybody and give it to the rich and let the other people think like they're getting something. This shit right here, look at this. I mean, $3.8 trillion in tax cuts. How much money do you think you're getting back? And it'll always be something tricky in these tax cuts too. Oh, it's permanent for the rich people. Oh, for you middle class and poor people? Yeah, we'll give it to you for 4 years. 3 years. You should be happy. And then after 3 or 4 years, boom, it goes skyrocket. Because why? Because these rich people haven't paid shit and we're in a deficit, so they got to raise it up. And all of a sudden, we're paying for it again. It's cyclical. We keep paying for it. Me and you keep paying for it. Us middle class or poor people, we keep paying for it. They don't pay their fair share. And you'll get millionaires. I put more money than most people. I'm a billionaire. I put in so much money. I'm like, how much percentage is that of your actual income coming in? Your revenue? How much percentage is that? I don't give a damn how much money it is. What's percentage? Because whatever I make, I'm giving you 30, 40. It depends. 50. If I get a big 50%, damn it, 50%. And you're giving what? There's so many tricks that they do. That's why I say to many people, if whatever industry you're in, incorporate your name. If you have an industry, if you're working a job, it's a whole different thing. But I've seen people do it. But if you're in an industry, like in the entertainment industry, incorporate your name, make your name a business. So that way you can be able to get tax cuts and stuff like that. The company gets the money and you pay yourself from the company, pay less. And that's how these billionaires do it. They'll literally have a bunch of businesses and that business will pay them $40,000 a year. And the business owns everything, the houses, the cars, the yachts, and it'll get all these tax cuts. And then they'll get paid $40,000 a year. All they pay in taxes is like, $15,000 or whatever the hell it is. And the business itself pays like 10, 15%. And if they get creative, pay nothing. It's a huge gimmick. The tax thing is a huge gimmick for rich people or people who know how to work their taxes. Most people don't. Most people go on to, these H&R Block ripoff shops. Give you a few dollars back, but you should have got 10,000. You got like 1,500. You happy, but all the shit you could have wrote off. You're like, and they know it. They know it. That's how these systems work. I remember getting into that same situation in my life, but regardless, figuring out all this stuff with the government and with the just being in the situation that we are in right now, but being the tax cuts are not going to be for us. It's going to always be for them. And sometimes I think that because we are America and we have these dreams, we're always, dreaming that one day we're going to be the billionaire and therefore, keep that system the way it is because I'm striving to get there so I can have those same opportunities that they have. and more than likely you're not going to get there. So you allow them to be the way they are because they're where you want to be. I would hope to win the lottery and be one day, and you want to keep all your money. So you allow them to keep robbing the system because one day you want to be there too. And I ain't saying that's people in here, but I think that's pretty much how this system is working. Reason why we don't look up at the rich and be like, what the fuck? We should have there should be riots toward the uber wealthy, but they're not because these people are striving to be them. So they don't want to tear down a system where they're trying to reach. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know if that's fact. I just see that's the way it is. Why else would you not be pissed off at the people who are not giving the jobs or the people who are giving people what you believe to be your position, what you should have got to an immigrant or to whomever, to have all this division, right? The division should be between the rich people and everybody else, the ones who don't give a damn about nobody. It's just them. And they should understand. I've been in my life, I've seen rich people who are very, very cool people, have done a lot of good for people, giving back for people, things of that nature, know their worth, won't do something for a certain amount. I get that. Those are good people. They just know how to make money. But when you got people who just rip off, and I've worked for a couple of them, just rip off any and everybody, and just have such disdain for everybody else, for poor people, say some of the craziest shit about poor people. You'd be like, damn, you used to be poor. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. But anyway, you see these increases in tax and cuts. And then it says increases the debt by more than $3 trillion. You're going to give $3.8 trillion tax cut. But you don't have, in this situation, giving away $3.8 trillion, it says it's going to increase the debt by more than $3 trillion over 10 years. I thought you're supposed to create, bills that's supposed to decrease the debt. How are you creating shit that's going to increase? And it always kills me with this too, because they go over 10 years. The next person to come in office is going to create another bill that's going to add on to that and subtract from that. So extending it out to 10 years, it's great, but whomever comes in, they're going to change this shit in the next 4 years or so. 5 years, whatever. But still, $3 trillion. No, thank you. So that's just insane right there. Just pure insanity. That's how this country's rolling. They're going to put all of us in the poorhouse, our kids and our grandkids. We already at in the double-digit trillions. I remember when we were talking about back in the day, it was like, $1 trillion, we're going to be in a debt trillion. Ooh, it's crazy. Here it is. We going to multiply that shit in my lifetime. It's just insane. I don't get it. It makes no sense. What was that? You can take a lot of money in 3 years. Yeah, that's true. Let's go ahead and get this. Next thing that we're going to talk about, because I just want to get into that in the depth of the budget bill. That thing should not pass. Please don't let that pass. It's insane. They said they weren't going to touch it. Here they are, not only touching it, they're trying to dismantle it. Millions upon millions of people will be without Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP. How do you take food out of babies' mouths and be cool with yourself? Knowing you're not creating enough jobs for these people. You're just buying back stock. And knowing that you're trying to get rid of education, so even if they wanted to get educated, you're trying to decrease the funding for that. Are you trying to make them worker bees, enslaved people? Like they're going to be so poor they're going to have to work in the fields? It doesn't make any sense to me. You're taking every resource from them. Their education, so they can't propel themselves with a grant and all that. So you're trying to cut the Department of Education, the funds from that. You're not creating enough jobs. So you're trying to bring the factory back so they can go work in a factory for half the wage of a union worker. Not even half, maybe more than that. It just makes no sense to me. There's a game plan they have, but the American citizen is not seeing like 10 steps ahead of themselves. The American citizen is like 10 steps behind. They already know what they want to do. They're putting it in. You just got to listen to key words. Like Howard Lutnick talking about, these 14, 15-year-olds can get jobs and work overnight. What the fuck? Then talk about, we're going to have robots doing most of the bringing back the jobs. So now the union people are like, where y'all at? 13, 14-year-olds ain't joining no union. Because if they were, they get paid $40 and $50. And they're not going to pay these kids $40 and $50 an hour. So they're already telling you these are going to be non-union shops. But the union backed this shit up. Again, like the last time when we lost 700-some thousand jobs, some of these unions backed this shit up. And end up losing jobs instead of making jobs. It is what it is. But today, what's so crazy is that Donald Trump was out in these streets talking about, right after he had bombed Iran, we obliterated, and he had all this big, huff and puff, I'll blow your house down type of bravado, and, you can't fuck with me type of thing, right? And he had his own assessment of what happened. But then it comes out, today, because again, like I said before, we don't know yet. Nobody knows yet. We got to get the international group that checks this stuff out to go check it out, to give us some better understanding. Trump was out here already bragging that he had ended the war forever, right? And they ain't gonna never happen again. I am the greatest peacemaker in the world. Like, man, we knew that was bullshit from jump. He's like, what the fuck is he talking about? And so he had an assessment, which I'm gonna get into, of this strike. Let's get to it.
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers.
This man said that they're real losers because they didn't report it the way he spoke about it. They literally waited and tried to get facts. There was no group. The only group over there, the international group, is IEA or IAE or some shit like that. The name of that group that actually looks at all this nuclear stuff and damage and all that. That group couldn't get in. So there's no real assessment to be had until they do or until they get more info. Just like Tulsi Gabbard said, we don't have any knowledge. I think she said the IC or something like that. We don't have any knowledge of them trying to build a nuclear bomb. There's no intel on that. No intel. It's not happening. Donald Trump said she didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Like it was her that went over and found it out. It was our intel department, our people, right? They're the ones who figured it out. She just reported it because she's the head of it. She don't know what she's talking about. It wasn't her. But he literally just dismissed her, right? And he wants to tell everybody that somehow he knows better. One, Donald Trump, the dude who can barely read, right? Flunked out of school and shit, but his dad helped pay for him to go to different school. He couldn't get into Harvard and all these other places. That's why he don't like Obama, because Obama's smarter than him, had a better life than him, other than him being rich. But Donald Trump has been trapped in this stupid ass body his entire life. I mean, it must be crazy to feel like, man, I had every opportunity in life, but the shell that I was built in was always fucked up. It was never, from head to toe, everything that's embodied in this dude just exudes loser. And he's trying his best to be a winner. Every time he wins something, he wants more. He won the election twice. Lost it. Oh, I didn't lose it. Started a whole fucking riot. Insurrection, because he couldn't handle losing. I still say to this day, when his 4 years are up, he ain't gonna want to leave. He's not gonna want to leave. I don't know what's gonna happen, but he ain't gonna want to leave. Trust and believe that. But he's out here talking about Iran is obliterated. Well, it came out today that Iran, their nuclear system, we just set it back. They said a few months. The highest estimate I heard so far is 6 months. So what they did set them back 6 months. I mean, could it be that you forewarned them that they had 2 weeks? And once America heightened its language, they bounced with all the material and put it somewhere else. So as we know of now, which everything could change because there's only so much intel that they received, that we did not obliterate it. That's what we know of right now. It could change. But they literally got supposedly this is what they said, all of the material out. It's just the centrifuges that's what they actually destroyed a lot of. And those take anywhere from 3 to 6 months to build. According to them. I have no knowledge of how to build these things, right? So 6 months. We did all that, and he was all telling the news. Remember, as soon as he finally bombed, he wanted everybody in the news to say it was obliterated. And here's the thing where I give news, mainstream media, except for Fox, fuck y'all. Mainstream media, I give y'all a clap, because you did not run with the bullshit he spoke of. You literally held your guns. Most of mainstream media, not the right wing, they ain't even news. They're just propaganda. But they held back and said, this is what Donald Trump said. We have no facts to back that up. We're waiting on it. Perfect. And as soon as they got information, boom. And this man goes off. He goes off. Bad news, this, that, and the other. It's obliterated. There's no way. We dropped all those bombs. And did you see how he tried to make people feel guilty? You see how he tried to make people feel guilty by trying to say that if you say it wasn't successful, you're disrespecting the men and women in the service who dropped the bombs by saying that they were inaccurate and all that stuff like that. No, we're not. We're literally not saying anything about the men and women who risked their lives to do your dumbass plan so that you can win the Nobel Peace Prize. No, we're not. We have no problem with them following orders. We have no problem with them dropping stuff where they told the intel was at. They did their job. All they had to do was drop it. It ain't like they went over the location in the middle of the night and just said, looks like that could be it. Let me drop it right there. Let me drop it right there. Let me drop it right there. No, they had the intel, and the intel told them where things were at. Now here's the problem. The intel said they were not building a nuclear bomb. Didn't have the capacity to do it, nothing. Didn't have it. That's what the intel said. But you went and bombed the place anyway. Killed people. Everything. We keep talking about just the location. They killed people without having any real knowledge of what the fuck was there. No intel, other than the intel saying that, hey, there's nothing there, just doing regular shit like they said they're going to do. Oh, and did you know, by the way, this dude is so... The reason why all this has happened is because President Obama was president. All this has happened because a black man was president. Not only was he president, he was better than George Bush by far. He was better than Trump by far. Racist white men in this country could not stand the fact that a black man came in And with no help from racist white people like Mitch McConnell, who said they're going to make him a president only once, not only did he win twice, he was better than any of them at that job. That right there, they could not stand. Why? Why do I say this? Because the metric to beat is Obama. They bring Obama up. That man ain't been in the presidency for how long? Huh? He ain't comparing himself to Biden. He ain't comparing himself to nobody but the black guy. Let you know something. Why are you comparing yourself to the black guy and the last person that was in was another white guy? Why aren't you comparing yourself to him? You still talking about Obama. Obama disappeared from the media for a long time. This fool still had his in his name, had his mouth in his name in his mouth. He kept talking about Obama on his pitch when he was running for president. He'd bring up Obama. Before Obama even came out and started helping out Kamala Harris. Obama. I'm like, dude, that wasn't the last president. The president in office right now is Joe Biden. He doesn't like the fact that this black man not only had a better education than him, not only can read better than him, not only wrote his own fucking books. He didn't have no no ghostwriter. He didn't have that. No. He didn't have that. He did it himself. Not only that, he wrote more than one book. Not only did he make more than one book, it sold way more than Donald Trump's. This man is chasing Obama like it was like his ultimate hero he wants to pass. He does not live up to Obama. He is trying so bad, that he is out here trying his best to downgrade President Obama so that he can just step right up on top of him. It's like, nah, bro, you are not him, and you shouldn't be. You shouldn't even be comparing yourself to him. But as much as he tries to compare this man to himself, everything that Obama accomplished, this man wants to accomplish. Everything that Obama created that helped Americans, he wants to tear down. He wants to tear down the legacy in which he could not be. Instead of creating his own thing that'd be better, he's trying to destroy what this black man created. That took other people who were president 50 years of wanting to do it. This black man came in and did it. Made it one of his priorities. Not because he was black and half black or whatever, because his mom died and he had a strong faith of like, you know what? We need health care. My mom may have lived. People like my mom may have lived, had better opportunity. We need health care. We need research. And he came in and I would say the spirit of his mom forced that man into doing what he's always probably promised her. Just noble shit. And then he's got racist people just pissed off at him for wanting to do right by Americans. And so many racist Americans getting pissed off that he was trying to do right by them. Creating a system that all of them are on but pissed off that a black man created it. It is so horrific that black man did something for all Americans. Not black, white, Latin, Asian, all Americans. And you still got racist white people talking about they want to get rid of it. It's helping you. Why would you want to get rid of it? They won't tell you it's because a black man created it. They don't want it. They'd rather get rid of it or rename it to Trump and I'll take it. I want no handout from a black man or hand up or whatever it is from somebody black. I want a white guy to do it for me. Go down in history, the white guy was great, but the black guy wasn't. That's what they're doing. Trying their best to degrade him, President Obama. And if I had it my way, if we're going to ever go to a third term, I'd be like, let's put Obama back. But I don't want a third term at all. But I'm saying if they're going to try and open that shit, yeah, Obama, come back and run against him because I'm be out in the streets. I don't do this, but I'd be on the street knocking on doors, but I don't care where it's at. If he had to go up against Obama, oh, hell yeah. They did a 3 thing, I'm out there. I'm in these streets talking to everybody, even homeless people. I'm getting them off the street, getting their own ID so they can come on and vote. Best believe this next election, I am 100% in. But that's how And that was before, but I wasn't going out knocking on people's doors. That's just not my thing. But this next election, I'm going to be knocking on doors. Because this, I don't know who, him or anybody else Republican can't win. We just can't have that. But this is what this man is trying to do. He's trying to be Obama 2.0. He's trying to be better than him. He wants to be the white version of Obama. But man, you don't have the intellect this man has. Obama can write books. You can't even read them. I mean, at some point you got to realize you lost. This man think he won against Obama. I beat Obama. You didn't. No, you was trying to beat Hillary, but you didn't have anything to do with Obama. Obama got his twice, and that's it. Why are you comparing yourself to someone you never ran against? I don't get. But it's just because he did well. And Mitch McConnell and all the rest of these racist Republicans were pissed off. Every president has done something where most of the people who voted for them was like, I don't like the way you did that. I don't like the way you bombed this. I get it. But as far as creating plans to help people, yeah, Obama over Trump any day. Any day. But anyway, that right there is Donald Trump going off about, telling people you're degrading the military if you say my operation wasn't successful. No, we're saying that these military men and women should have never been out there risking their lives for a dipshit like you who came up with this plan when your own country said there's nothing to worry about. But you listen to Benjamin Netanyahu. So Trip, he talks about, we went over there and bombed based on what Benjamin Netanyahu has said, has been saying for decades. And this is the dipshit that believed him finally. And by doing and this is what I'm talking about, the Americans you got to pay attention to. He went over there and bombed based off intel from Benjamin Netanyahu. Once he got done, he said, I've finished with it. I've solved the problem. It's forever, and ain't gonna have to worry about no more bombing, blah, blah, blah. That night, they bombed some more, which made Donald Trump look like a total dipshit. Because he had already came out and professed it ain't gonna happen no more. As of today, as of right now, when I tweet you this or truth you this, there's no more. I've ended it. He wanted that Nobel Peace Prize bad. So he put it out there like, I'm the man. I stopped these two wars and whatever. They bombed again that night. And this fool went off. Americans, pay attention. You MAGAs too. Donald Trump capitulated, not to his own intel told him what was going down. He listened to a foreign country, Israel, to do do their bidding, but used American lives to do it. There was no guarantee that our people weren't going to get shot out of the ground, out of the sky. Our people could have died on this mission, but luckily they didn't. But he sent American lives to bomb something based off the intel of a country that's been saying the same thing as far as intel goes for decades. And our intel says no. Ignored us. We don't know what we're talking about. Americans don't know. I believe Israel over Americans' intel. Ran with that, right? And then Benjamin Netanyahu, excited. Oh, yeah, got America behind me, blah, blah, blah. Goes ahead and bombs some more to add on to it. Like, yeah, and my homeboy over here got into it and bam, I'm going to fire back. Now what you going to do? Now what? Saying that basically to Iran. Iran fires at an American station, notifies everybody because it's not like it's just going to fire the fire back just to kind of like say that we ain't going to take it. We're going to destroy some of your shit too, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. Donald Trump's pissed off that they went and didn't listen to him. America, look at this for a second. Donald Trump he overrode his own intel. People that keep him safe and us safe. Listen to Israel, who was lying, 100%. Told America they didn't know what they was talking about. Used our firepower and our children's lives to go over there, bomb something, come back, and he tells them not to do something, and they didn't listen. How is that a strong leader that listened to somebody else tell him what to do Benjamin Netanyahu asked him to do it, told him some lies, and Donald Trump did it. Then he said, okay, and in response, you have to not fire anymore and make me look good. Okie dokie. And as soon as he turned his head, bow, bow, shot. And not just a little bit, a lot. No respect. Just diss Donald Trump. 100%. He believed in this man. And this man turned around, went behind his back after he agreed that he wouldn't do it. It makes us look so weak that this man thought he was so strong he was going to stop a war they've been having him off and on for fucking decades. This man is asked, I think he was either on his way to his helicopter or whatever it was. He was asked about this forever ceasefire that he conjured up. And let's listen to it.
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than that, and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
He had to drop the F-bomb. They don't know what the F they're doing. Sorry, sir. You don't know the F you're doing. You got two countries that's warring and have been back and forth, and you got in the middle of it. No other country got in the middle of that because they knew better. You were the dipshit that's trying your best to get a Nobel Peace Prize or trying any way you can to find some way to become the leader you hope to be. And again, why get into something that wasn't a threat to American citizens whatsoever? They weren't trying to go at us at all. And they didn't have what you said they had. Our intel said it. Our intel was right. Netanyahu lied like he's always been. Now we know that Netanyahu lied, and now he's pissed off at him. Well, you're the one who got suckered. I thought you were the one who could negotiate. But you can't decipher worth a damn. You can negotiate, but you can't decipher shit. You should have known this man was lying at you. All they had to do with your intel in your office, because I know the intel already knew. But the people who were telling you things to listen to Benjamin Netanyahu, if you guys had knew by looking at video over the decades, this man has said the exact same words. They're weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. They're months away from having a nuclear weapon. This very close that they're having. There are multiple. This man is young as shit compared to what he is now. Saying the exact same words, verbatim. And this fool listened to verbatim. These things, if it was months away in 2002, it's 23 years later. How the hell they don't have a shit ton of them? Yet he's out here telling them over and over again. I think they got them. You do? Where's your intel? You got the same intel as you. Then you don't have any intel. Our intel, I want to trust. We got to live and die by our intel. How are we going to go off other people's intel if it's not even corroborated? No other faction had that information but Israel. And Israel got so elated that Donald Trump ignored his own country's intel and listened to him. And you know, in that country, they're like, look, I got this dipshit wrapped around my finger. I tell him what's going on. He believes me over his own intel. Who the hell believes another country who has different interests than you. Who believe it? Tell Benjamin Netanyahu to do something for us just based off of our intel. That fool ain't gonna do it. He ain't as stupid as Donald Trump. But they know they got a fool in our leader. And America knows they got a dipshit as a leader. It's just the MAGA people don't know this shit. They're still in this trance. Take care, Kristen. You got to go. I see you. I don't feel good. I hope you feel better, Kristen. Good night to you. But yeah, it's just insane. I don't understand what this man is. Why is he a leader? I don't understand why these people want him so bad. This dude, it's literally got to be that they found we have got a powerful, dumb person that we can make do anything we want to do. He trusts us, so we'll get in and do whatever we want to do, and he ain't going to do nothing because he don't recognize shit. He can't even read. He barely understand. We throw stuff in front of him. He says it. He don't know what he's doing. And that's what these Republicans who were in the House working with him in his administration the first time said when they left. Milley, General Milley, Mark Esper, they all came out and said this man had no clue what he was talking about. He should have never been a president. And here we are. Just because these same people, I don't absolve you guys just because you're saying it now. You allowed this man to build up to be a leader in their eyes without telling the truth. Even to this day, these Republicans who are out on the outskirts now, back in the day when Donald Trump was building power, he didn't have the power he has now. They were sitting there being quiet. They weren't leaking to anybody to help America get over this dude. They should have been leaking like a sieve just so that we can tear this man down instead of getting him stronger and stronger and stronger. Instead, they backed up his lies. They validated his lies. They made this man like a god to these MAGA people. And now, then all of a sudden, when they do tell the truth, none of these people believe it. You all chose collectively to let this man rise into power over lies. Collectively, you allowed him to do the things he's doing to American citizens and then decide like, oh, sorry, but no sorry. Fix it. You know how you allowed it to happen? You are tasked with tearing it down. You helped build it. You should be helping to tear it down. And it kills me how these Republicans just sit in the cut and don't do nothing. They're like this. Yeah, it's a problem. Democrats need to do something about it. You're the one that allowed it to happen. You're the one that should be doing something about it. It's your monster you created. You're the ones that should be risking your lives out here telling people exactly what the hell this man is made of. You're the one that should be literally saying behind the scenes, this man has fits or can't do this and can't do that. You're the one that should be leaking this shit. How the fuck were we supposed to do it? Democrats, we ain't even around him. You Republicans are around him right now. You know what's wrong with this man. And your mouth is closed because you scared. Well, then take one for the team. You got this position for a reason. That was to represent the people. It wasn't so that you can hide in a shelter because you're scared of the person that you're representing or that you're working with. You're scared of Trump. So what? You should be scared of American citizens because you should be doing what you said you're going to do. Protect your people. Instead, you're over here protecting him and fucking over your constituents just because his crazy ass batshit group of MAGAs will try and take you out like this Vance dude did. Your cowardice is why America's where it's at. Because you're a bunch of cowards. Get on my nerves. So they were supposed to have a meeting today, Congress, to talk to the Democrats about, what went down with this bombing of Iran, why it went down, all the intel that they're supposed to know, how they get the intel that our intelligence didn't have, or where did they get this information from? It's supposed to go down today. But then Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, comes out relatively not too long ago, less than an hour ago, and says, oh, it's been postponed to Friday. Well, Democrats didn't know why it was postponed. They were questioning. Why is it that why is it that other leaders that we've elected that represent us, Democrats, why is it that they got to pull teeth to get information that they should have got before you pulled off this little stunt you pulled off? Why is it like pulling teeth? Why are you excluding them? Because excluding them, you're excluding a massive part of American citizens to know the truth about what the hell's going on. Not the intel aspect of it, but if it's valid, they can say, well, they had no valid reason. Or they did have a valid reason. And release whatever you can, whether it's declassified or not. But no, you guys said you had the deeds of what happened. You should already have it ready. Why do you need to get something ready? Before you did this strike, you should have been prepared to notify people about it that should be in the know, correct? How do you go about something yet don't have, and you know the details of where everything is at and coordinates and what time you're going to do it, all that? None of that information given to the leaders, the Gang of Eight, none of it? You just told Republican MAGA people and the Democrat leadership and the Gang of Eight, you didn't tell them nothing. Who does this shit? I know they'll say Obama did it. So no, they notified people. They didn't tell Congress fully, but they did notify people about what they're going to do. They told the Gang of Eight, and they followed another accordance after that. But some things are immediate. Some things are threats in which Article 2 can be used without having to go to Congress. But you still got to tell the Gang of Eight. And they're out here, and some of these reporters out here senselessly saying, hey, you know, Obama did it, and what's his name? Bush did it, and somebody else did it back in the day, blah, blah. They did not. No, they didn't. Not like this. They used Article 2, but they literally went to the Gang of Eight. That's the process. Some things where it's built so that you don't have to go through Congress if it's something that's immediate. It's an immediate threat. You go through the Gang of Eight, which is the top 4 leaders in the Republican Party, top 4 leaders in the Democrat Party, the Gang of Eight, and those people get notified what's going on. Those people can tell other groups in their party about what went down, and then they can have a meeting or whatever based off of those types of things. That has happened by other presidents. But what Donald Trump just did is not something any other president has done. But they conflate the two. Even CNN, MSNBC, they conflated these two like they're the exact same. They are not the exact same. Donald Trump did not notify the Gang of Eight. He just told his group of people and left the Democrats the fuck out. The Gang of Eight would have included one of the top people in the House and Senate. Would have included them. But none of them got information. They said they contacted Senator Jeffries, Hakeem Jeffries. They sent him a message, or they called him or something like that, and he wasn't there. Yet there's no proof that they called him that we know of yet. It was not that imminent, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody was bombing any of our American citizens, nor had they even had a threat on American citizens that they were going to do anything. This was Israel, and they had no plans that they had mentioned at all about bombing American sites or even Americans. They could have. They never did. They hadn't until this day, until after they got bombed by America. They said to America, don't get in this because we will fight back. And almost every president, when heated with that type of information, they don't, unless there really is a threat. There was no threat. And even after they got bombed, they notified the American citizens, American military men and women, that they were going to be bombing the place. Donald Trump didn't give nobody no notice. He didn't tell them that we're going to bomb your place, you know what I'm saying? Get your people out. Didn't give nobody no notice. He killed people. And Iran gave them notice so that none of their people would die. Just hypocrites. Hypocrites. Turning people. I don't know anything about Iran's people and what they are, but all I got to say is this. I'm tired of hearing shit from people and they don't give you the full facts. And then you got to go find out the facts, and you find them out, you find out America's lying. That shit pisses me off because I hate to be lied to. When I go back and look and see how certain things happen, I'm like, wait a minute. It didn't go down like you said it went down. It really pisses me off that America does that to its own citizens, especially even after a decade later, whatever. They still got the lie out there. If you want to tell the truth later, fine. But if you're telling a lie at the beginning so that you protect yourselves, understandable, I guess. And if you're trying to start a war, but later to still hold on to that lie, it's crazy. But social democrat for Bernie, yeah. But in that, Marco Rubio, I don't know why I'm getting double audio. Sorry for this, guys, but I'm trying to see if it doesn't happen this time. But anyway, Marco Rubio was on Face the Nation on Sunday. And we all know that Tulsi Gabbard said that there are no basically weapons of mass destruction that they're trying to build in Iran. That's how the way we know these things is based on these international groups that measure what people are doing and what kind of stuff they have. They have to open up these things for inspection. So they open it up for inspection from the international groups, and these international groups, which we rely on for every country that has military weapons, said that they did not have what was needed to make a nuclear weapon. Said they didn't have it. Now, again, when they talk about nuclear weapons, all of these countries have nuclear energy. If they get to a certain percentage, they all can develop like the very, how would I say, if you say archaic, but the very first nuclear bomb that the only ones that bombed in Japan, that bomb could be made by everybody who has nuclear power, because it doesn't need that much. But what we have now, the advanced stages of what we have now, and the distance and all that, yeah, that takes a lot more enrichment of uranium and stuff of that nature. So they can't build that. But if they want to build a smaller one that can still take out like major areas, yeah, they can do that. Everybody who builds it can. Everybody who has nuclear power can to that point. But anyway, so they try to make it seem like there was some kind of major threat. There wasn't. And then Marco Rubio is asked on Face the Nation, and she asked him a question. Let's listen to it.
Are you saying there that the United States did not see intelligence that the Supreme Leader had ordered weaponization?
That's irrelevant. I think that question...
That's irrelevant? Why is it irrelevant? Because you already bombed them? Our intel said nothing was there, and now it's irrelevant. Instead of saying, no, it was there. Because they were so definite, so affirmative when they said at the very beginning that it was there. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Tulsi doesn't know what she's talking about. And now it happened, like they got bombed on Saturday. They bombed them on Saturday. This is Sunday, the day after. Now it doesn't matter that our intel was off compared to what we had intel. Our intel was right. The intel in which you searched and Trump searched and validated, that shit was off. But now, because they were wrong, it don't matter. It don't matter that water under the bridge. What are you talking about that for? Because that's the way we talk about these things. Had it been, Clinton, Bush, Obama, anybody, that's the way we talk about it. They always have talked about it like this. You have to justify why you bombed something. And if your intel said the opposite, you got to ask yourself, why? All these other wars that we started or bombings that we've had have gone through either the Gang of Eight or went through Congress to get permission to start a war. You guys did neither. None of the above. And your intel, you have to be able to give to the Democrats and the Republicans. You have to give it to them. They don't have any intel. Their intel is Israel. And Israel was just making the shit up. They've been saying it forever. So now that they got to answer to the American citizens and our leadership, they're postponing it. I hope they look over this shit through a fine-tooth comb so that they realize that they're over there making shit up right now to match whatever the fuck it is they're going through. Why do you need till Friday to put something out that you knew about in order to bomb people? You have to have this information already ready. At the ready, before you lift up and risk American lives, you should have this shit already at the ready. This should have been prepared before you bombed so that all you had to do was give it to the Gang of Eight. But you don't have it. After you don't bomb the person on Saturday, it is now Tuesday, and you want until Friday. And probably will postpone it again because you're not going to get the information because it wasn't there. I believe in our intel. Not because I think they're like the greatest thing on earth. It's like it's the only thing we have. I would not believe another country's intel over our own assessments. We live and die by our people's assessments. How would it be if our assessment is nothing is happening? We go over there and bomb something, totally fuck it up. We didn't listen to our people and we start a war. What if Iran just said, fuck it, we at war. World War III start right now, bitch. And you did it off the intel of somebody else and not our own people. So our people and our kids gonna die because you listened to Benjamin Netanyahu? Come on, man. Come on, we can't have that. We can't have that. We can't have that. If we're going to live and die by it, it's got to be our intel. If you're saying you're the greatest country in the world, America, there's no way in hell we should be listening to other countries other than adding on to what we already know to get a better understanding of what's out there. But to fully listen to another country and ignore your own country, that's just plain stupid. You can't love America if you're going to put it into a position of weakness. Here we are talking about we obliterated something, and here it is, 6 months. So in 6 months, they probably going to expedite this shit. You said 6 months, you don't fuck them up. The only way they're going to protect themselves now is to build a nuclear weapon so that you stop fucking with them. So now you don't know where it's at. Now you don't know whether the IE, whatever not IE and IC something, but you don't know because those people don't know where it's at. So now they're building shit in the dark. Great job. Let them go do this shit somewhere where you don't know where it's at now. And the reality is this. In 2018, there was already an agreement by President Obama with Iran that they could not produce a weapon, and they were following that. It was Donald Trump, right? Well, before 2018. In 2018, Donald Trump canceled it. Obama already had it during his presidency. They worked it out, and they didn't even have the material to do it in one of the locations at all. And there was an agreement already written that they could not produce it, and they were following it and abiding by it. That rule and regulations that they had that Obama and his team worked on so much, Donald Trump came in, got rid of it in 2018. When he got rid of it in 2018, that's when they started building a nuclear location and putting nuclear energy and all this other stuff like that, building it. All that started after Donald Trump came in and saw Obama had made a deal, and he said it was terrible and cut it up, and that country put billions into starting doing electricity and different things of that nature. Probably could be making a bomb. I don't know that industry or that country that much, but still. They would have never gotten this far had he just improved or at least moved even further into the plan that Obama had created with his team. But no, Trump wanted to be the big dog, and he's the reason why they had this facility to begin with. It's crazy how he starts shit and blows it up and act like he did something. I'm like, dude, had you not said in 2018, to hell with Obama's plan, that they didn't have anything, they built it under you, and you destroyed it, took it back to where there's nothing you think, but now there is something. You just don't know where it's at. Oh, that's a win. Before you knew where it was at, and you had an organization that would go check it out every so often, so you knew what percentages they had made, up to 60% or whatever. You knew. How did you know? Because these organizations that reported told you so. Now it's hidden. You'll never know. Whether it's 60%, 90%, whatever the percentage you can get to, you don't know. That's a win. Now they got to get to the negotiating table and hopefully get to a point where they say, okay, where are you at? Let's make a deal. But they ain't going to make a deal with Trump. They're waiting for the next person to come in. And the guy who's the head of Iran is 89. He'll more than likely be gone. I don't know who's in line next, but yeah, that's how this shit's going down. But in this, you'll see this fool is literally telling you, don't worry about, intel.
Being asked in the media, that's an irrelevant question.
No, that is the key point in U.S. intelligence assessment. You know that.
No, it's not.
Yes, it was.
No, it's not. That's not how intelligence is read. That's not how intelligence is used. Here's what the whole world knows. Forget about intelligence.
Forget about intelligence. He's going to say, no, it's not. No, it's not. He sounds like a little kid. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I know you are, but what am I? It's giving 5-year-old. He knows damn well that's what happens with intel. We've always gotten intel from our people. We trust our intel. That's it. We trust our intel. And this man, Marco Rubio, is saying that's not how it goes down. We don't trust our own intel. That's not how intel works. You're telling us to not care about intel. Don't worry about intel. Why not? Sound like a kid. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. We all know it is. Our intel is how we know we stay safe. Think about it for a hot second. I just want you guys to think about this. The way Americans are safe is because of our intel. One faction of it is our intel. Our intel lets us know when there's a threat in this country, whether it's a threat on any military base we may have, or any type of property we may have in other countries where embassies are there. When we get to know our intel, we get to know what's safe and what's not, so that we can get our people out before there's a riot or people trying to overthrow certain things, so that we save American lives. This man's trying to say intel is not important. That's not how it works. But you believed in somebody to go drop 14 30,000-pound bombs? 14? You dropped 14 off of somebody else's intel. We're the only ones in the world that can do it. America, America, America. Yeah, we were the only ones that got suckered into something where what we were looking for wasn't there. Not only once by a Republican, weapons of mass destruction still haven't been found with George Bush's debacle. And they keep listening to these Republicans talk like they know what they're talking about. It's insane. He's going to sit there and get on Face the Nation and tell you, don't worry about it, intel. Why not? That's the way we protect ourselves. We're not supposed to listen to them now. That's not how it works. Thank God that this woman right here, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Thank God that she said, yeah, it is. That's how it's always worked. And instead of him just saying, well, it works like this, he just, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. just out here lying. It's crazy that they go out on a media blitz, the Republicans, and Donald Trump's, because of the crap that he's doing, we're worried. We're talking about everything under the sun that he's fucking up, and or either he's done some craziness or whatever it may be. Let's just back up a hot second and pay attention to the fact that you and me and the rest of Americans, Democrats, leadership, all of them, they found out about the lives of these people in this war. How'd they find out? Via a text or a truth. That's how you found out. You found out about whether your kids in the military either were going to get killed or may have gotten killed or whatever, but they were successful, thank God. But you found out via a message on a social media app. Where the hell have we gone that a social media app is how you find out about how the military has operated? Successful or not. This man already gave you the success rate. 100% successful, all this, through a tweet. What is he, 16? That's not how this works, but now it does. How unserious is it? It's like me coming out and giving you information on YouTube that's official without getting a press conference, without, telling the world in advance is what we're going to do. We're going to come out and talk to it. Your president coming out and telling you what he or she just did. He did that later. But he originally gave it to you through a tweet, truth, whatever, and continue giving you information throughout the weekend on Truth Social. Wow. Just insane, y'all. So then he got Speaker Johnson comes out, right, and says this.
The framers of our Constitution never intended for the president to seek the approval of Congress every time he exercises his constitutional authority under Article 2. And so they wanted, in moments of danger and conflict abroad, for one single hand of authority to have that authority to act decisively and effectively.
Let's say that again because I missed it myself.
The framers of our Constitution never intended for the president to seek the approval of Congress every time he exercises his constitutional authority under Article 2. And so they wanted, in moments of danger and conflict abroad, for one single hand of authority to have that authority to act decisively and effectively.
Okay. So what he's saying is, he's talking about Article 2, where we said earlier, he's trying to say that the president has a right, when there's an imminent threat, to be able to use the military or use military force to thwart off any threat that Americans may have. You have to understand that Article 2, what he's talking about, he's leaving out the part of that gives him the right to tell the Gang of Eight, right? And there's another war of declaration of something else that he has to follow. Those two things have to be followed if you're not going to go through Congress. But no, he didn't go there. He literally just went with his people, MAGAs, and did what he wanted to do. And you got Speaker Mike Johnson coming out and giving you the actual law without the additional parts to it. Article 2, yeah. But what do you got to do when that happens? You have to tell the Gang of Eight. No president goes out, not unless it's some imminent threat. And even if it is an imminent threat, like it's like they're bombing us already, they still tell the Gang of Eight, and they go ahead and handle that, and they handle their business. But if it was going out to war, which this could have easily started a war, you don't start wars in this country without Congress. And this right here would have declared war if Iran had just said, you know what? Fuck it. They're going to kill us anyway. I'm getting tired of the threat. Let's go ass out and boom. We die. But I'm sick of these fucking bullies. We're going to punch them in the nose. Had he went that route, he already 89. What else he got to lose? You closer to death than rebirth, okay? So you gambling with this process. He gambled with Americans' lives. He gambled with it. And Mike Johnson's coming out here telling America, hey, we can do that. No, you can't. What he did was wrong. He knows it was wrong. Had he incorporated the Gang of Eight, he would have been under the Article 2 laws to do it. But not incorporating the Gang of Eight means telling the top 4 of each party, top 2 of each party, the people who need to be notified, and still haven't been notified. Even with this process, everybody afterwards it happens are supposed to be notified 48 hours at the latest after you've done something like this. They have to be 48 hours later, have to be told about what happened, why it happened. If you decided to do something so imminent that you had no time, you just had to save American lives. And let's just say they were bombing or had a threat that they were going to bomb and kill a lot of Americans on a base, and they had intel that they trusted, they can run up and do that. But within 48 hours, you have to notify the other leaders. They haven't notified them. They postponed it till Friday, when they should have been notified after something like this, when it was done on Saturday. 48 hours later would have been Monday. We are here on Tuesday, and they want more days. Go look it up. This shit is just insane. It's insane. And all these Republicans are just backing it up like it ain't no business, like it's like the thing to do. And it's wrong. The last thing I want to talk about, because this whole thing is about Trump bombs Iran or Iran in hopes to get a Nobel Peace Prize. Like I said, this man is trying to measure up to Obama. It ain't even funny. Since 2016, he's been talking about this Nobel Peace Prize. He has. He's been talking about Donald Trump, been saying that Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know what for. He just came into office and they gave it right to him. Maybe it's because him running for president and taking a tour to every country and saying that he was going to work with every country that are our allies, and that he was going to try his best to make sure that America was going to be the leader that it said it was to America, to the world, and be responsible, even though he fell short in certain areas, especially like doing wars and drones, things that people did not like as well. And those things are understandable, but was it facetious? I don't believe, but hey, everybody can have their own right to believe whichever. But regardless, they loved him. Not only did Americans love him, other countries loved him. He went out just, on a little tour while he was running for president. And the streets were filled up, like I said before, like the Beatles showed up in the 60s or some shit. Like, what the hell? I was shocked by it. As far as the eye can see, was people. There were more people showing up in other countries than Donald Trump got when he was president at his inauguration. Both of them added together. Just insane. They hate it, but they can never change history. The videos are out there. As much as they want to get rid of it, it proves something. That just do your best and be your best, and things that can happen for you. There's always going to be haters that try to destroy what you're trying to build. That's the Mitch McConnells. That's the Donald Trumps of the world. That's the Marco Rubios and the others out there, MTG and Matt Gaetz and all that. The people who try to destroy what America's tried to build for centuries. Once we get rid of this regime, I pray that we realize We never needed it. We should have never let them in power. But now that they've had power, if we don't learn from our mistakes and move forward, once we beat this off, America deserves what it gets. Even now, you're deserving what's happening. Not the people who voted the opposite way, but the ones who voted for him. This is on you. Now, I said I was going to show you where Donald Trump is trying his best still to be President Obama. And this is like a montage of Donald Trump basically begging for the Nobel Peace Prize over the years. It's just insane. I know some people want to turn the audio down because you can't stand and listen to this dude. I don't like him either, and I don't like listening to him, but I have to do what I got to do.
Well, they should give me the Nobel Prize for Rwanda, and if you look, the Congo, or you could say Serbia, Kosovo, you could say a lot of them. You could say, I mean, the big one is India and Pakistan. I should have gotten it 4 or 5 times. I should get it for the, I would think the would be a good one too. They won't give me a Nobel Peace Prize because they only give it to liberals. When Obama got it, here are the headlines. President Obama gets the Nobel Prize. Obama got it like in his first couple of weeks, and nobody knew why he got it, including him. Remember, he couldn't tell you why.
He won the Nobel Peace. Oh, do you know this? Can you believe it?
That.
He won the Nobel Peace Prize. They probably will never get.
Told you this dude can't read for shit. It kills me how he fucks up. He won the Nobel Peace. Oh well. No, we know you fucked up. Keep moving, man. Anybody who learns how to speak in public, and if you don't, go to Toastmasters if you want to learn how to speak in public. But anybody knows how to speak, and this man should be good at it, but he's really not. You know to keep moving. When you fuck up, just keep moving. You don't stop and restart your sentence. Just say it. You said preach. You know what you said. Keep it moving. But when you try to hide it, you automatically know, like, dude, we saw it. Like he tried to erase it. You can't erase it. We saw it. But his people, their brain just skipped a beat. I know if he finished that speech, MAGA said, "Where do you mess up at?" I'm like, the entire speech.
Give it to me, even what I'm doing in Korea and Idlib province and all of these places. They probably will never give it to me. You know why? Because they don't want to.
I think I'm going to get a Nobel Prize for a lot of things if they gave it out fairly, which they don't.
And I think we're going to see the fruits of this decision tonight play out for many, many years to come. And if the Nobel Peace Prize were worth anything anymore, I would say the president certainly deserves one.
President Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, no doubt. Rather than World War III, we may get more peace. And rather than 34 felony counts, President Trump may end up with 34 Nobel Peace Prizes.
She knows he's a criminal 34 times, and she thinks he may end up with 34 Nobel Peace Prizes. For that to come out your mouth, you are one dumbass human being. 34. No human being will get 34 Nobel Peace Prizes. The nonsense is thick with these people. He's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize for what? He causes more havoc than peace. If he gets the Peace Prize, I know what to give him a Peace Prize for. If Donald Trump resigned today and left office, I vote he gets the Nobel Peace Prize. If you just said, I'm done, I quit, and I just want to bring peace to America, so I will disappear from the public space. If you give him a Nobel Peace Prize, better yet, give him 34 peace prizes, Nobel Peace Prizes, if he leaves office today. Give him all 34 that this dipshit thought he was going to get. I vote for that. I vote for that 100%. Donald Trump quits today, leaves America, goes to one of the white countries he loves so much, and never comes back. That's all the peace America would need. That's more peace than anybody in the entire world has ever gotten a Nobel Peace Prize for. Give him 100 of them. Just get the fuck out the country. Take your racist people with you. We'll give you a lifetime supply of Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. You'll get one every day for the next however many days you got left on Earth. Just watch your mail. It'll show up in the mail. I have no problem doing that. But you still in office? Fool, please. Please. Be realistic. Be realistic. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know I get tired of this stuff after a while. Listening to this man. I know y'all get tired of it too. You turn the audio down when you hear his voice. Yeah. I look at it, I say, what is the world gonna be like when he finally meets his maker? How are we gonna react, this country? That's one that's another Peace Prize he should get. Once he's in the coffin, give him a couple of Peace Prizes that goes in the coffin with him. When God decides to take him, throw a few Peace Prizes in there. Hell, throw an Emmy in that bitch too, an Oscar, a little bit of everything. Just let him go. Let him go. But yeah, it's just craziness that's going on right now. But that's what I've seen today in the news, what I got to say about it. I know a lot of y'all got to get out of here and do stuff you got to do. Getting sleepy. For some people on the East Coast, it's like 10:30. But as always, I'm out here trying to give everything. Not Nobel Taco Prize. That is funny, Antoine. Yeah, most definitely. This man should easily only give him a taco prize, because it's just insane. Oh, big time, Alice. I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody thanks who's here at our members. I appreciate y'all. The membership, Alice Early, appreciate you. Rude Interplanet Janet, as always, appreciate you. I know that Kristen was here, but she didn't feel well. Prayers lifted up to you to feel better, Kristen. If you're still listening. Who else in here? Getting back up to that. DJ, thank you for being here. Let's keep going, keep going. These are all the members. Mark D, thank you, brother. You're here. You're number one up in here. Number one. At one point in time, they go back and forth. Woke Mike became number one. I got to look deep into these number ones and what they mean. I think it's just the members and how you interact. But I'll see. Hey, Mark, I'm going to talk to you, man. Remember we talked about that certain app for real estate. I've been working on one. And I got to get some information off of you to find out more about people who have who rent out either houses or apartments and things like that. Not questions, but problems you may have, so that I can make sure that what I'm building is thorough for everybody. I want it to be like foolproof, that it's helping everybody. And those who rent apartments or houses as well, because I'm building it for both the tenant and for the landlord. So I want to talk to you about that so I can make it better. For everybody else who shows up that aren't members, I appreciate you guys for being here. How often you chat? What's that at? What do you mean by how often I chat? You mean like when I connect with people and talk to them personally, or are you talking about in the chat, talk like text? What I'm talking about with Mark is I do YouTubes where we connect and talk about certain things. That's like every other Saturday. 2 different groups every other Saturdays. Is that what you're talking about, Rude? I'll give it some time for you to respond. Or are you talking about in Discord as well? No, I am talking about the rating. Oh, about the rating on YouTube. It's how often you chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your support. If you want to become a member, you know how to do it. You can also donate. You see that on the screen, how you can do that to help the show as I improve it. Like I said, I'm getting a new camera, so hopefully I like this, but it'll be a little bit better. And I'm trying to add on to the show. But I'm trying to do some positive things as well. You know what I mean? I understand factual stuff can get draining, but I'm a solution guy. I call myself an avid solutionist. So I'm thinking about starting a little segment about just solutions, about problems we may have. So that way, you know, other people can be helped, right? All right. Good night, Woke Mike. I see y'all. Good night, everybody. Mark D, Alice Early, Rube, Interplanet Janet. All y'all have a good night. Be safe. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, I'll see you when I see you. Take care.